Woof.
Okay, so here is the first of 4 DevBlogs that came out. These came out yesterday on the 12th, my mother's birthday. And this one is, this by the way will be basically, even though I've seen the titles of these, I haven't really read any details or anything. So this is going to be my first full read through and reaction and comments on this. So we want to see what we're getting into. And it looks like there's a few things here they're looking at. Early access to British submarines, collective combat missions, new settings for domination mode, and other new features. Wait a minute, domination mode, that's the mode that we actually like compared to the other ones. So anyway, okay, I got my concerns they're going to F up the best mode, and because everybody likes that mode more than the other ones. Anyway, so they say, let's talk about the main new features of the upcoming update. Early access to British submarines. Update 12.1 will mark the start of early access event for British submarines. Whatever. To complement the event, the new permanent camouflages Iron Resilience for Sturdy and Victoria Cross for Thrasher will be added to the game. Ask me how much I care. On to the next one. There you go. If you're interested in subs, you can see it. There's the Sturdy. There's the Thrasher. There's a nice little flag that they added. All right. Collective combat missions. In 12.1, collective combat missions will make their appearance. Progress towards achieving the objective for this type of mission will be shared between all players on the server, with each individual participant contributing their own amount. They can come in the form of either chains or standalone objectives. After completing collective combat mission, all players who contribute to it will receive the final reward. We kind of do that already, I think. It is possible that a collective combat mission is completed before the mission's expiration date. In this case, only those players who manage to contribute to it in time will receive the reward. Okay. Makes sense. Nothing really much else to say about that. I think that says it all. Next, new domination mode settings. Now, this is the one I'm interested in. If they screw up our favorite mode, I'm going to be mad. We're planning to test a modified version of the 3-cap domination mode from random battles. Well, what about the 4-cap version? Does that mean they're going to leave that alone? Okay, anyway, the new settings are aimed at reducing the number of edge cases where battles go too fast or slow. So if I'm reading that right, it says we want to reduce the walkovers, the blowouts, the fast folds, whatever else you want to call them. Okay, so they're basically going to change the game rather than to suit the taters rather than try and make the taters better, I guess. The starting number of points per team at the beginning of the battle, as well as the number of points awarded and taken from others when a ship is destroyed, have been revised. Okay. The starting points for each team are set to 200. I think that's instead of 300. So, okay. When an enemy ship is destroyed, the team is awarded 40 points regardless of the ship's destroyed type or the destroyed ship's type. When a friendly ship is destroyed, the team has 32 points deducted from its score regardless of the destroyed ship's type. Okay. So that means doesn't matter what we kill. When we kill a ship, there's going to be a 72-point swing. Before, it varied depending on the ships. For example, battleships would be a 100-point swing, and I can't remember which was which, but I think it was 60 and 40 points. I can't remember what was the kill award, or what was the award for killing the ship and what was the penalty for losing the ship, but it was 60 and 40. I think carriers were a swing of 110, etc. So cruisers and then whatever. All the ships had slightly different values. So this is not only a different value set, but it means there's less of an impact when you kill the ships. And then there's going to be, it's going to take longer to get to 1,000 points because they're putting you 100 points further back than you started before. Now, the bad part to that is they're also putting, and I hope I'm wrong on that 200 points, but they're also putting you closer to being pointed out early on. But that's why there's less swing in the points. I hope I'm wrong about that 200. Hey there, Adam, 12. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for the lurk. So yeah, that's interesting. It just means it is going to make it take a lot longer to point out. So it means you're going to have to get the caps. You have to play the caps more and work harder to keep them. So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to solve things or not. You know, we need a player base that understands how to what the caps are for and how to play the damn caps. We too much have teams that sit in their spawn rather than try to do something about the caps. So we need to find some way to improve that. But anyway, they're saying this modified version will be tested on, and they give several map names: New Dawn, Fault Line Shards, Trident, Neighbors Crash Zone Alpha, Northern Waters, and Faroe Islands. They will test it during 12.1 closed and public tests, and then based on the results, decide on its fate. Well, expect something to come along. Even if this specific iteration doesn't, expect them to do something. So I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I don't think it's solving the problem necessarily, and it may or may not have the adverse effects of making all your games take longer now. Now, clan battles from February 20th to April 10th. February 20th, so that means we're getting basically a 1 month break for clan battles. Wow. Codename Salamander. That's what's going to be taking place. So February 20th, April 10th. 7 versus 7 on tier 10 ships, no carriers, no subs, no more than 2 battleships per team. Now that's pretty vanilla. It's hard to say. You know, they'll share further details. I mean, that's pretty much status quo for clan battles, if that makes sense. While it offers not much variety, I think some of the concerns, and I guarantee you, Wargaming has most likely seen that when they're playing other tiers or allowing carriers and subs into clan battles, that participation is probably noticeably lower. I don't have those stats and can't tell you for sure, but if I had to take a guess, they probably get the best participation in this type of format, which is why they mostly stick to that. They could do some kind of minor variations, you know, tier 9 ships or something to make it, or tier 8 ships to make it interesting. But other than that, it's when they do the weird stuff like where they have tier 6 ships and all that, even I agree, those are, a lot of people won't even play. I've seen it happen with my own clan in the past, and okay. Other than that, no comments on that. That's, you know, like I said, pretty standard clan battle season. Would be nice to have a little bit more than a 4-week break, but it is what it is. Technical improvements. Ooh. Added dynamic music for submarines, which will match the gameplay of the ship type. It will adapt to situation battle or not, and will depend on whether submarine is surfaced or submerged. It will be available with the dynamic and mixed music modes. What's this going to be, like the Jaws theme song playing in the background? I mean, that's what I imagine for subs, you know. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, you know, that's, yeah. Anyway, updated the way aircraft squadrons are displayed on the decks of aircraft carriers, both in port and when in battle. Now the aircraft on deck will reflect the available squadrons. Doesn't make AA any more or less a joke, so who cares? Let's move on to the next thing. Adding and editing content. So they added to the game commanders Anne Bonny, looks like a pirate girl, and Vera Mikhailova, which I'm assuming is a Russian captain. Then they have Queen of the Seas commemorative flag and patch. Okay. World of Wargaming patch. Oh, which has tanks, planes, and ships. Interesting. Okay. Not sure. I'm assuming these will not necessarily be special other than the visual. Don't know if there's going to be don't even know if they're going to get a voiceover of some kind. Who knows? I guess maybe we'll get more detail on that. I doubt very seriously that they have any special skills. It'll probably just be they'll get 10 points, yeah, and they'll have the visual, and that's probably about it. The appearance of content related to the Community Contributors program has been updated to accommodate the new World of Warship logos. So I guess they're putting it on the containers. And here's a Tier 8 Alabama VL. That's an interesting looking little camo. So we got a gold turret and a black turret. It looks like probably a gold turret in the back. So not sure what the significance of having the one turret that's not gold is. But still, not a bad looking camo there. Updated a number of the containers. Composition of special premium ship containers will become similar to the standard premium ship containers. Compensation in premium ship containers will be in credits, and for special premium ship containers in doubloons. Name of the special ones will also be updated to elite containers. So I guess they're going to call them elite premium ship containers. I don't know. So, okay, the contents of the Journey to the West containers and the Air Supply premium container. We're all out of love. We're living without you. Anyway, Air Supply, so that's, you know, if you're old enough, you know who Air Supply is. And you know that was premium date night music. That's all you need to know. So apparently they're updating the contents. Journey to the West containers. Okay. So you get 0.4% chance of getting one of those ships. You get 5,000 free XP if you already have all the ships. Okay. The Journey to the West premium container. There you get 10% chance of getting a ship. Okay. You got all the other bonuses. Okay. And then here is your Air Supply premium container composition. 12% getting one of these ships. All carriers. Great. What else? Updated the Distant Voyages premium container. Now 3 items will drop. Drop rate of permanent camouflage is increased. It will have a 50% chance of dropping in one of the slots. The value of a guaranteed drop counter has been changed. The number of containers. Okay, so this is the pity drop. The number of containers that must be opened for a guaranteed drop of a reward from a group of unique items has been reduced from 17 to 5. That's a pretty big reduction. So they're making the The pity drop happened a lot quicker. Wow. All right, well, what do you got here? So 100% you'll get Elite Commander for XP or credits. I mean, here nor there. I mean, it can be useful, but and in guaranteed you'll get one of these three items. 50% chance for a permanent camo, which could be special, rare, or unique. And it just and that's one of the 309 of those. And then one of 78 types of, oh great, of expendable camouflages, which are now just credit stacks, basically. 46.8%. And you can get whatever. They got the different themes. And then the last thing is a 3.2% chance of getting 1.5 million credits. Yeah, not the best. And then 100% again of the same list. So basically they're saying, you know, you get this stuff, get a random one of those twice, basically. So it could be any combination of those, two of the same thing, or one of one and one of another. If you already have items from the permanent camouflage group, you'll get 2.5 million credits. So there you go. That is the first of the 4 DevBlogs that are going on from January 12th. Significance, a lot of this is there's not a high significance. There's some semantics. There's a couple captains. These weird technical improvements. Fan battles. The thing that most concerns me potentially is messing around with the domination game mode. That's the thing that concerns me more than anything. And, you know, the sub stuff, we really don't care that much. So, okay. That's it for the first one. Go check out the next one. All right, DevBlog number 2. Also out on January 12th, yesterday. New ships. Closed test 12.1. So we're getting some new ships. We're getting Pan American cruiser Almirante Grau, and British battleship Cumberland. Been added to the game for testing. So let's see what they are. We're going to get more turducken boats. All right, so Pan American cruiser Tier 8, Almirante Grau, a DevBlog Provinciën class cruiser, purchased by the Peruvian Navy from the Netherlands and named after Admiral Miguel Grau Seminario. Almirante Grau is armed with 852 main battery guns. So basically this is a tier higher, I think, version of the DevBlog. And I actually, fairly much like the DevBlog. So interesting. Armed with 852 millimeter guns in twin turrets. Main feature is the presence of combat instructions. Great. When activated, they reduce the main battery reload time and improve the ship's acceleration and maneuverability. Okay. What do we got to do to make this happen? The ship has weak armor, which is compensated by access to an improved repair party consumable, which restores 50% of citadel damage received and has an enhanced HP recovery rate. Now that's interesting. Almirante Grau can also equip either Hydro or Defensive AA in one slot. Okay. Wow, they're not going to give us much on the Tier 10 battleship Cumberland. But let's look at the ship characteristics on the new DevBlog 8. We'll call it DevBlog at Tier 8. Hit points are not overly high. What do we have? So 4x2, 16 kilometer range, yada yada, 11% fire chance, 4.5 second reload. Okay. On 8 guns. That's pretty impressive, actually. I can't remember what the DevBlog has, but it does not have that kind of reload, so that's very interesting. I see them messing with that. I'm predicting that that reload doesn't make it into the game. It can have a reload better than the D7, but it won't be significantly better. We'll have to take a look at what the D7's as a matter of fact, let's take a quick look at the D7 and what its reload is. We have it in here somewhere. I think at tier 7, isn't it? Do we? Not seeing it. Or is maybe D7 is at tier 8 and I had that wrong. D7 was tier 8, so I was wrong about that. So D7 was a tier 8 ship to begin with. Well, what's the artillery like? 6.5 second reload. So, okay, so both of these ships are at tier 8. Interesting. So they're improving the reload by this thing by the reload on this thing by 2 seconds and giving it combat instructions. I can't see that reload time flying. That's no way that ends up being less than 5.5 seconds or 6 seconds when they're done. Anyway, so what do the combat instructions do? 20% main battery reload improvement. Time for engine to reach maximum power minus 25%. So that's kind of like a speed boost kind of a deal. Not even speed boost. That's not right. Like an acceleration boost. Maximum speed plus 10%. So yeah, you get a speed boost too. It's a 60 second action time. You need 5 hits per salvo for it to happen, I guess. Number of adjustment firing salvos required, 5. Time spent without firing before you start to deplete your progress, 30 seconds. And then you have a 5-second bump with a depletion rate of 8.3%. So interesting. I'm just not I'm not a fan of the combat instruction thing so far, but we'll see. But I don't think there's any way that reload time right there holds up now, especially that I realize both these ships are tier 8. Now my question is, does this thing still have the airstrike, or did they take away the airstrike? Because you're getting this, basically you're turning it into a better gunboat. That's going to be interesting to see. Do get depth charges. There's your AA. I mean, looks pretty standard. 32 knots, which isn't overly fast. 700-meter turning circle's pretty good for the tier. Rudder shift is mediocre. Surface detectability of 11.9. You're at tier 8. So that goes down to what? 9.7, 9.6, right in that range? Somewhere in that range. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. 5.9 kilometers smoke firing penalty. So you get your damage control, repair, and hydro or defensive AA. So this repair party is 20 seconds, 237.3 per second. So that means in 20 seconds, you're going to heal up basically about 4,700 health, if I'm seeing that right. 4,700 health, and it will heal Citadel damage. So 20 seconds at 237.3. Let's go look and see what the regular D7's got, or does it even get a heal? Does the regular D7 get a heal? Yeah. it's 28 seconds at 202. Okay. Let's think about this a second. So this is 28 seconds at 202. It gives you 56 health. And what did we say this one gave you? This one only gave you about 4,700. This one gives you a little less health. It just gives it to you faster, and it heals citadel damage. Okay. I don't see a huge, what I would consider a huge improvement there. I just see it doing things a little differently, if that makes sense. But okay. Interesting. You know, and that's the one thing on the DZ that I actually have trouble hitting things with the DZ airstrike, because the airstrike box is a lot smaller and you do have to wait a while for it to get where it's going. So it's pretty hard to hit anything that's not a stationary target, if that makes sense. So assuming that they're taking that away to give it better guns, I don't have a big problem with that. So it'll be interesting to see if they leave this reload at 4.5 seconds, plus you get a 20% main battery reload boost. That's another 0.9. That gets you down to 3.6 second reload, which is very impressive. I just, like I said, I don't foresee this standing up. That's going to get raised, no doubt. But still, an intriguing boat. Lastly, the Tier 10 British battleship Cumberland has also been added to the game to use as a platform for testing settings on future ships. The ship's model is that of Marlborough, the British battleship Marlborough, but with the parameters of main battery and consumables of battleship Sovietsky Soyuz. So it's another slut boat, or a turducken ship, as I've taken to calling them. So they're basically just going to, you know, cut a couple ships in half and paste them together, so to speak. That's what I get out of there. So Marlborough, with the main battery parameters and consumables of Sovietsky Soyuz. So it sounds like does that mean that it's 9-gun whenever they say, or they mean a high number of guns with low accuracy unless you're at close range? And, you know, so a weaker hull than the Sovietsky, but better guns, I guess, overall than Marlborough has. I don't know. We'll see all the details of what that means and what it is going forward. But definitely another one of these turducken boats where they're mixing different stuff together. So interesting. Definitely an interesting couple of ships there. We'll see what becomes of them. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to see notifications of future videos, just ring the bell. Until next time, Tater Dawg says, woof.